Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana
Brajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe.
Jaya
Jai
Radha
Radha
Madhava
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 Radhe.
Radhe.
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ashtasakhi Vrinda ki.
Jai,
Shri Shri Gauranitai ki.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about a pastime that probably all of you, or at least most of you, are familiar with. This is the pastime of Dhruva Maharaja. And I heard some children's voice. I think it was Adrika who was singing. Adrika, I get confused. Okay. So please repeat this after me. This is a verse spoken by Srila Narada Muni to Dhruva Maharaja. Gunadhikan mudam lipsed
Gunadhikan
Mudam
mudam
lipse,
anukrosham gunadhamat
Anukrosham Gunadhamat,
maitrim samanadan vichen
Maitrim Samanad Anvichen,
natapairabhibhuyate
Natapair Abhibhuyate,
Gunadhikan mudam lipsed
Gunadhikan Mudam lipse,
anukrosham gunadhamat
Anukrosham Gunadhamat,
maitrim samanadan vichen
Maitrim
Maitrim
Samanad
Samanadam
Anvichen,
Vichin
natapairabhibhuyate
Natapair Abhibhuyate,
Gunadikan mudam lipsed
Gunadadikam Mudam lipse,
anukrosham gunadhamat
Anukrosham Gunadhamat,
maitrim samanadan vichen
Maitrim Samanad Anvichen,
natapairabhibhuyate.
Natapair Abhibhuyate.
Would anyone like to chant?
Gunadikam mudam lipsed
Gunadhikam
Gunadhikan
Mudam
mudam
lipse,
lipsed
Anukrosham Gudam
Anukrosham
Gunadhamat
Maitrim Sam and Avichin
Maitri
Maitrim
Shamanadhan
Samanadhan
Natapter Abhyuyate
Natapairabhibhuyate
Gunadikan mudam lipset
Gunadikan mudam
Mudam
lipshed
lipted
Anukrosham Gunadamat
Anukrosham
Anukrosham
gunadamat
Gunadhamat
Maitrim Samanat Anvichin
Maitrim
Maitrim
Shamanadhan
Samanadan
Vichen
Vichen
Natapar Abhibhyate
Natapairabhibhuyate
Natapairabhibhuyate
Gunadikan mudam lipset
Gunadikan
Gunadhikan
mudam
Mudam
lipshed
lipsed
Anukrosham Gunadamat
Anukrosham
Anukrosham
gunadamat
Gunadhamat
Maitrim Samanat Anvichan
Maitrim
Maitrim
Shamanadhan
Samanadan
Vichen
Vichen
Natapairabhibhuyate
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 Gunadikan mudam lipset
Gunadikan
Radhikan
mudam
Mudam
lipshed
lipsed
Anukrosham Gunadamat
Anukrosham
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 gunadamat
Gunadamat
Gunadhamat
Maitrim Shamanat Anvichan
Maitrim
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 Shamanadhan
Samanat
Samanadan
Vichen
Anvichan
Vichen
Nataperabhibhuyate
Natapairabhibhuyate
Natapairabhibhuyate.
Nataperabhibhuyate.
Okay, we'll do word for word. Gunadhikat,
Gunadikat,
one who is more qualified.
one who is more qualified.
Mudam,
Mudam,
pleasure.
pleasure.
Lipset,
Lipshed,
one should feel.
one should
One should
feel.
feel.
Anukrosham,
Anikrosham,
Anukrosham.
compassion.
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 Guna adhamat,
Guna
Guna
adamat,
Adamat.
one who is less qualified.
one
One
who
who
is
is less
less
qualified.
qualified.
Maitrim,
Maitrim,
friendship.
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 Samanat,
Samanat,
Samanat.
with an equal.
with an
With an
equal.
equal.
Anvichet,
Unviched,
Unviched.
one should desire.
one
One
should
should
desire.
desire.
Na,
Na,
Na.
not.
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 Tapaihi,
Tapai,
Tapai.
by tribulation.
by
By
tribulation.
tribulation.
Abhibhuyate,
Abhibhuyate,
Abhibhuyate.
becomes affected.
Becomes
becomes
affected.
affected.
Would anyone like to read the translation?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Okay.
Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world.
Thank you. Okay. Can anyone read the purport?
Prabhuji, can I?
Radhika, okay, you can try.
When we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. The great sage Nada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate toward him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should always have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world.
Thank you. That was very nice. Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present here. This Pyarimohan Prabhu, Jiva Mataji, and all the devotees. I seek your blessings so I may speak something on this pastime of Dhruva Maharaja. So this Dhruva Maharaja's pastime is very popular. Pretty much everyone in the audience must be aware of this pastime. So this verse is spoken by Srila Narada Muni to Dhruva Maharaj. How old was Dhruva Maharaj? In that
5 years.
Yeah, he was 5 years old. A very small boy. Krishna consciousness is so beautiful, so wonderful that even a child can take part in it. But what Dhruva Maharaja did, it's difficult even for an adult. The story is very, very inspiring. So the place where the story occurs in Srimad Bhagavatam, I know you must have seen while we are reading. What canto does this come in?
4th canto? 4th canto.
Yes, this is in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who is narrating this story?
Shukadev Goswami.
So this is Maitreya Muni talking to Vidura. This is it happens in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So of course Shukadeva Goswami is narrating. In the 1st canto, Srila Sutta Goswami is the speaker, and then towards the end of the 1st canto, Maharaja Parikshit, he meets Shukadeva Goswami. So in the 2nd canto, Shukadeva Goswami starts narrating Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 3rd canto, of course, Shukadeva Goswami in the 2nd canto, he talks about the universal creation and topics like this. Then but previously it was mentioned that how Vidura has left his home. So then the discussion comes up. What did Vidura do after he left? And then the story comes like how Vidura, he has met Maitreya Muni. So this happens in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 3rd canto, at the beginning, actually Uddhava, he meets Vidura. They have a beautiful conversation. And Vidura wanted to be a disciple of Uddhava. But Uddhava, he doesn't accept Vidura because Vidura is much older than Uddhava. He is the age of his father. And he suggests, no, you should go to Maitreya Muni. Because both Uddhava and Maitreya, they both hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from Krishna. When Krishna he instructs Uddhava before leaving this world. At that time, Maitreya Muni was also present. So he suggests we both, got instructions from the same Guru Krishna, but he's senior to me in age. It will not be good. So you must go to Maitreya Muni, and he is nearby, and he will instruct you. So then Maitreya instructs Vidura on various things. So in the third canto, Vidura kind of starts conversations where he asks him to explain about the universal creation. This topic happens multiple times in Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu is discussed. Who is Swayambhuva Manu? Who is his father? Who is the father of Swayambhuva Manu?
Brahma.
Yes, Lord Brahma is the father of Swayambhuva Manu. So Brahma started creating, and in the beginning, he creates 4 Kumaras, and he tells them, you should increase the population. You should procreate. But the Kumaras, they were not interested. They wanted to stay brahmacharis. Very young children. They were same Dhruva's age we are talking about. And Kumaras also, they perpetually stayed like 5-6-year-old boys. And Brahma was not angry. Brahma was not happy. So he becomes angry, and then he produces Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is producing more living entities, but they were becoming Rakshasas, ghostly type of characters. He tells him to stop. And then he produces 2 personalities, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, one male and one female. So then Swayambhuva Manu, he had 5 children, 3 daughters and 2 sons. The 3 daughters are Devahuti, Akuti, Prasudi, and the sons are Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So the acronym for that is DAPUP, D-A-P-U-P. If you remember DAPUP, then you know about all the 5 children of Swayambhuva Manu. And actually that's the subject matter for discussion in several cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Up until the 7th canto, then 8th canto it changes. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these 5 cantos, it is about this Swayambhuva Manu and his family, these 5 children and their descendants. So in the 3rd canto, his daughter Devahuti was described. So Devahuti marries Kardama Muni and they beget Krishna. His name is Lord Kapila. So that story occupies the 3rd canto. And of course, there's also the story of Varaha Dev killing Hiranyaksha. That's the 3rd canto. Now, when it comes to 4th canto, then there are 2 more daughters, Prasuti and Akuti. So Prasuti marries Daksha. And then there is story of Sati, the 3rd canto. And Akuti is very briefly mentioned. Her son is Yajna. And Ishopanishad was spoken by Swayambhuva Manu, glorifying this son Yajna. That is, then we got Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti. Now they are over. Devahuti, Akuti, Prasudi, and then Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So actually, Priyavrata was the older one. And however, here Maitreya Muni is more excited to talk about Uttanapada's children. particularly Dhruva Maharaja, because Dhruva Maharaja is such an interesting character. So Maitreya Muni is excited. So instead of talking about Priyavrata, he talks about Uttanapada. And this Uttanapada, he has two wives. He had two wives. Does anyone know the names?
Suruchi and Suniti.
Yes, Suruchi and Suniti. It's interesting, the names. Suruchi means, Ruchi means that's pleasing, tasteful. But Suniti, Niti means what? What does the word Niti mean? Morality, ethics. Is the meaning of Niti. So Suniti and Suruchi, you can see the names. So amongst these two wives, Suniti is the older wife and Suruchi is the younger wife. So usually in the ancient stories, if you hear these stories, if a king had multiple wives, who does he like the most? The younger one. Yeah, that's the typical, any story, it goes like that, right? He likes the younger one. Because on a sensual platform, he's preferring the younger over the older. So here Suniti, actually she's a lady of wonderful character, very good person. So Suruchi, she's a bit proud of the attention that the king gives to her. And she takes advantage of king being attracted to her. And Srila Prabhupada calls out on this aspect, at how she misused the king's appreciation of her. So they both, Suniti and Suruchi, each of them had a boy. So Suniti's son is Dhruva Maharaja and Suruchi's son is Uttama. So these two boys, born of the same father, different mothers, so they're step brothers. So one time King Uttanapada, he was sitting on his throne, and then when he was sitting, this little boy Uttama is the younger, he's younger to Dhruva. So Uttama sits on the lap of his father, and Uttanapada he's patting the boy, he's embracing him and patting him. And then it's natural, like children, when one child is with an adult and the adult is playing with one child, the next child immediately comes and he wants to play. This is something natural with children. They're just innocent, and they also want to participate. Sometimes they want to do the same exact thing the other person is doing. If there's only one toy, that's the same toy that both of them want. And so here we see Dhruva also, he goes, and of course he doesn't want to push his brother and sit, but he also wants to sit along with his brother. And when Dhruva, he tried to get onto the lap of his father, then his stepmother Suruchi, she starts speaking something that's not very palatable. It is explained that she had two feelings in her heart. One is pride and another one is envy. Pride and envy. So in today's verse, we talked about these two qualities, pride and envy. Prabhupada in the purport mentioned this. Gunadikan mudam lipsed. When we meet a person who is guna adhika, means one who is more qualified. The word guna means literally it means quality. Adhika means he has better qualities. In a general sense, guna can be, the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. But guna is also used in the sense of good quality. So guna adhika, when someone has better qualities than us, this particular verse spoken by Narada Muni, it is suggesting that gunadikan mudam lipsed. One should be really very pleased. Oh wow, I'm fortunate to come in the association of somebody who has some good qualities. But the general tendency is to become envious. So here, Suruchi is manifesting envy towards Dhruva Maharaj, even though he's a small boy, but she's cultivating some envy. He's older than her own child, and naturally he'll be inheriting his father's throne. So he's better situated than her own son. So she's manifesting this envy in speaking some words that I haven't described yet, but I'm coming to this verse to connect what's going on. And the next one, it says, Gunadikan mudam lipse anukrosham gunadhamat. So one has to be compassionate to somebody who's less qualified. And then maitrim samanad anvichen na tapair avibhuyate. When he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. So what happened here, she felt envious, thinking that this boy may get kingdom and I should stop. And when someone meets equal, then one becomes proud. Instead of when we meet somebody who is as talented as we are, then the tendency may be there to become proud. And when we meet someone who is not so qualified, then the tendency will be to suppress that person and take advantage of that person and use them for our own benefit. But here it's being described, when there are equals, we should try to make friendship. And when someone is not as qualified, there should be compassion and a mood to help that person to raise up the standard. So here Suruchi, she's feeling actually on one side envy, on the other side, she's feeling proud. Because she has, on the other side, she's competing with Dhruva's mom, and Uttanapada likes her more than he likes Dhruva's mother. So she's proud of that advantageous position also. And from that position, she wants to suppress this boy Dhruva. So now, because she, on one side, you could say there are two equal wives, but she has pride, and now she has advantageous position. So instead of helping to Dhruva, she wants to suppress him. So therefore, she speaks these harsh words to Dhruva Maharaj. My dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you're also, let me share the screen, what I'm reading actually, so you can see. So she says, Queen Suruchi told Dhruva Maharaja, my dear child, you do not deserve to sit on the throne or on the lap of the king. Surely you're also the son of the king. But because you did not take your birth from my womb, you're not qualified to sit on your father's lap. She's so blatant. She's so straightforward in revealing, her tendency. Like, this cannot happen. Is there another incident like this that you can remember, where the mother of a younger child really wanted to prevent the older one?
Kaikeyi.
Yes, Kaikeyi. And there also Maharaja Dasharatha, he had more liking for Kaikeyi. and she took advantage of that. So here also Suruchi, she's taking advantage of that. And she's manifesting these qualities that are not recommended by Srila Narada Muni. And of course, Dhruva is a little boy. I mean, he doesn't know that from whose womb he has taken birth. The child takes birth, and whoever takes care of him and tells him your mama, and then the child goes along with that lady. So Suruchi is saying, you do not know that you are not born of my womb. But now I'm telling you that you will not be able to get on the lap of your father, nor can you get the kingdom of your father. And this is impossible. And she tells him, you have to take birth from my womb. Then only you will be able to occupy this throne. Now, what does this mean, that you have to take birth from my womb? That means she's saying you have to perform some austerity. She also tells him, if you want to get on there, you have to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. To perform austerities, you have to please him. And then you have to die. And in the next life, you should take birth from my womb. And then you will have an opportunity. I mean, what such a mean lady. It's so, how can someone say that to a little child who is 5 years old? And right on his face, that the only way for you to accomplish this is you must please the Lord and die, and in the next life, when you take your birth from my womb, and then you'll be able to do something. So then Dhruva Maharaj, he is not happy. It is described he was so angry like a snake. So angry like a snake. And the snake hisses, right? It hisses, and is breathing heavily. He was wounded. He was attacked in the core of his heart. He was punched and beaten, and he's really, really angry. So these are the manifestation. These are called shed ripus, the 6 enemies: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. So we have seen Suruchi manifesting Mada and Matsarya, pride and envy. So the action that she has did in pride and envy against Dhruva, then it has invoked anger in Dhruva, Krodha. But now we'll see how Dhruva was able to manage his anger. He got angry, but how did he go about his anger? Did he try to pick up something and just, hit his brother and drag him down the throne and push his stepmother aside and to sit on the father? What did he do in that anger? But even though he was a little boy, he understood that I'm very angry. And he looked at his father for support. This is what children does. When something happens, they look towards an adult to see if they will intervene and if they will help. Particularly if a bigger person is bullying the younger, the little one. And if other well-wishers are surrounding, then they expect that they'll be protected by somebody around them. So Dhruva Maharaj is looking to his father. And this man, he just kept quiet. He didn't say a single word. Such an unfortunate situation. And what can he do? He looked at his father, he's not saying anything, and he's so angry, he's biting his lips, he's breathing heavily. And he started crying and he ran towards his mother's palace. Wherever his mother is residing, so he left to Suniti. And of course, when things like this happen in a setting like a palace, and both the queens are living with a king, there will be people on either side, somebody supporting this side, somebody supporting that side. So there's already, when this boy runs, and some of the servants also who are watching from a distance, they also go and they inform Suniti what had just happened. And Suniti, as far as she is concerned, she's already neglected by her husband. So because she's elderly, she's an adult, and she's a mature person with good qualities, she is able to tolerate, even though the king is giving more attention to the younger queen. But now, when this happened to her son, it became very unbearable to Suniti. It's explained that she was burning as if in a forest fire, like a burnt leaf in a forest. And when there's a forest fire, it's so big that it consumes, it burns. This thick wood also gets burnt. What to speak of a little leaf? So she felt like a little dry leaf being burning in this forest fire. To see what has happened, it's not a little thing. Of course, in those days there was no child protection office. If there was any CPO, child protection office, someone would have prevented and complained on Uttanapada, took it to Swayambhu, Manu and Brahma. But that didn't happen, and Suniti also didn't complain. So how did Suniti react? Suruchi was pride and envious. Suniti's reaction is totally different. She gives wonderful shiksha to her son as the best shiksha guru for Dhruva Maharaja. And everybody told, the servants told, what were the words that Suruchi has spoken. She said, you have to perform austerities and please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. This is what Suniti has uttered from her mouth. Sorry, Suruchi has uttered from her mouth. And looking at Dhruva Maharaja's situation, Suniti was also breathing heavily. And she was like, what should we do? But the very first thing she told her son is so beautiful and inspiring. She tells her son, my dear son, don't wish anything inauspicious for others. Ma amangalam tata pareshu mamstaha. Let there be no amangalam for others. The reaction when we are in anger, the immediate thing we want is let the opposing party be destroyed. That's the first outcome that's desired. How dare you do this to me? And therefore, the immediate thing that comes to our consciousness is what has happened is unjust. Therefore, and I cannot do anything to you, but let something bad happen to you. But this was not Suniti's mood. She specifically instructs her 5-year-old boy. She could have told the boy so many things. the first instruction she gives him is, do not desire something bad for others. But at the same time, she knows the boy, he wants a solution. Just by not desiring something for others, then what next? What can she do? So she tells him, whatever your stepmother has spoken is actually correct. That you need to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am unfortunate. I did not have the mercy of the Lord to be the favorite queen. Only if there is mercy of the Lord, everything in this world happens because of mercy of Krishna. So I am unfortunate. But I know one thing, that if anyone wants anything, they can only obtain by the mercy of Krishna. That is the only way. So do not be envious of your brother Uttama that he is able to sit on the lap. Don't wish something bad for your stepmother and brother. But take what can you learn from this incident. She said, you need the mercy of the Lord. But that is a fact, even though she spoke out of pride and envy, but you can take what she has spoken, because that is true. Not that you should die, but only if the Lord is pleased, you can get your desires fulfilled. And then she gives the examples. She gives the example of, consider your great-grandfather. Who is Dhruva's great-grandfather? Who is his father? Who is the father of Dhruva?
Tanapada.
Uttanapada. And Uttanapada's father is?
Manu.
Swayambhu Manu. And his father is?
Brahma.
Lord Brahma. So she's saying, great-grandfather Lord Brahma, how did he attain the powers to create? He performed tapasya. In the beginning of the creation, Lord Brahma came out of the lotus flower that came from the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and everything, entire universe was dark. He was confused on what to do. Then he hears a voice, the 16th and 21st consonants. Tapa, tapa, tapa. Then he performs austerities. And then the Lord empowers him to do the creation. So she explains it to Dhruva. This is how your grandfather became a big engineer. He became the engineer of this universe, and the secondary engineer. He got the ingredients from Krishna, and then he created this beautiful universe. And even your grandfather Swayambhuva Manu, he also pleased the Lord. He appeased the Lord, and he also became great. Now, if you want your desires to be fulfilled, you must follow in their footsteps. You must also take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna is very kind to his devotees. Great, great sages who want liberation from this material existence, they take shelter of his lotus feet. They become purified and they attain the Supreme Lord. And I'm so unfortunate, I'm so little, I'm so insignificant. I cannot do anything. But for sure, Krishna can help you. You take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Even Goddess of Fortune, she's at the lotus feet of the Lord. So you please him. You pray to Krishna. Then you'll be able to attain him. So Dhruva Maharaj, this is how he managed his anger, right? So he saw his father is not saying anything. And even if he did something, uttered bad word, this and that, nothing will happen. So the shelter, the protection he had was his mother. One person who can speak on his behalf went to the mother. The mother calculated, there's nothing I can do because when my husband is taking a side, what can I do? But at the same time, we are not alone. We have the protection of Krishna. So this is something in life, sometimes we may feel that we have no other option. We may be so insignificant in this material world. We don't have any power, any abilities, any skills. But there's always one person with us always, that is Krishna, unto whom we can turn and seek shelter. So this is the instruction Suniti, as the best Siksha Guru for Dhruva Maharaj, gave this instruction. And then Dhruva Maharaj, he goes to perform austerities. And at that time, he meets Narada Muni. Narada Muni gets this news that Dhruva has gone to the forest. He quietly skips from the palace and he goes to the forest to find Krishna. And Narada Muni is amazed. These Kshatriyas are so powerful and wonderful. They cannot tolerate a little bit of infringement on their prestige. When their honor is insulted, they cannot tolerate. But they manage it properly, as we have seen. So then Narada, he meets Dhruva. My dear boy, you're a little child. Go home and play. Why are you so affected? I say, go home. He said, no, I'm not. Dhruva said, I'm not going home. I want to see Krishna. What happened? It's such and such thing happened to me. That's okay, little children, you fight and then you forget and you go play again. He said, no. And he says, all right, I'll tell you one thing. And then he tells him what was spoken in today's class. You should be happy when you see those who are more advanced and friendly with equals and compassionate to those who are not as qualified. And you should tolerate. And when you become old, when you become big, then you can do austerities. Because many sages, they have tried, they have been trying, and sometimes it takes many lifetimes and they still do not find their goal. And you're so little, what can you do? So just be tolerant. And Dhruva Maharaj says, my dear sage, what you're saying is absolutely correct. That I have to tolerate. But please forgive me for not taking your instruction. Because of me being born as a Kshatriya, I am unable to forget this incident. And I want a kingdom that is greater than anyone else has ever obtained. Greater than my father, grandfather, great-grandfather. Now, can you please give me some honest method to accept it? And we can see Dhruva Maharaj's words. He wants an honest means. He's not trying to seek a revenge and attack and wish something bad. Mother already told him, don't wish bad. She told him the way to get is to go to Krishna. And Dhruva is saying, don't give me a shortcut or don't give me something unreasonable. And he also expresses his own position. He's not putting himself as something greater than what he is. He says, look, I'm unable to forgive and I'm unable to tolerate what's going on. So please give me an honest path so that I can also get something and feel satisfied that even though my stepmother denied, I was able to get something bigger. In this way, I'll feel satisfied. So this is the Kshatriya nature. And then Narada Muni gives him a path for pleasing Krishna. He gives him 12-syllable mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then Dhruva Maharaja, within 6 months, he sees Krishna. and he performed severe austerities, very severe austerities, Dhruva Maharaj. And then once he sees Krishna, in the beginning, he wasn't sure how to offer prayers to him. But then Krishna inspires him, gives him knowledge. And Dhruva Maharaj offers beautiful prayers. And in the beginning itself, he condemns himself. Only foolish will approach you for sense gratification, the way I did. And I'm sorry. So there's, in other Purana, there's a beautiful verse. Thana bilashi tapasistitoham tam praptavan deva munindra guhyam kachan vichin vapi divya ratnam swamin kritarthosmi varam nayache. Desiring some kingdom, I approached you, you who are very difficult to obtain, even for great rishis. And I was looking for a broken piece of glass, but I obtained you who is a Divya Ratna. And oh my Lord, Swamin Kritarthosmi, I am very satisfied and I do not want any boon. But however, Krishna blesses him with 36,000 years of rule on this planet, and afterwards he will obtain the pole star, which wasn't ruled by anyone else by that time. And it is in the realm of Vaikuntha Loka in this material world. And then the Lord blesses him and Dhruva comes back. And while coming back, he feels so bad. What did I do? and he blames demigods. Demigods, after their pious activities are done, they have to take birth again in this material world. So they didn't want me to go back to Godhead. So somehow or other, they gave me this material desire to approach Krishna instead of in pure devotion. So he wasn't happy that he went with that mood, even though the Krishna consciousness has purified him. After executing Krishna consciousness, he was free from the desires. But nonetheless, Krishna has given him, and the reason Krishna has given him the kingdom is because he's pure. Krishna felt that he's qualified to rule the kingdom without falling down. So sometimes Krishna may not give us something, but when he sees that even by giving something, it's okay for the devotee, he doesn't fall down, Krishna may give him something. So in this way, Krishna gives Dhruva Maharaj. And eventually Dhruva Maharaj completes his turn on this planet, and then he goes back to the Vaikuntha Dhruva planet. And he also takes his mother. And Srila Prabhupada says, if I have one disciple like Dhruva Maharaj, then hopefully he will also take me back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada is very humble because Dhruva is taking his mother, who is his guru, Shiksha Guru, and Prabhupada is also saying, maybe my disciple can also take me like this. But we all know Srila Prabhupada, he's the one who will deliver us, but his humility and in glorifying Dhruva Maharaj, also his ecstasies in glorifying Dhruva Maharaj. So this is the story of Dhruva Maharaj. We can talk about this for long time. I'll stop here. We have 5 minutes. Any quick questions or comments from anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, dear Prabhu. Yeah.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Very nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I had one question I was trying to understand. So, Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee. One of his objectives was, in one sense, if we look at it from the eyes of an amateur like myself, appears a little bit like a material desire. If we consider that Dhruva Maharaj prayed for the sake of a bigger kingdom, so in one sense that can be considered as a material desire instead of a spiritual desire. So how do we understand that coming from a pure devotee like him?
Yeah, so it is actually a material desire. What Dhruva Maharaj had was a material desire, but not in any bad sense, right? So he was trying to approach it in an honest way. He recognized he had a desire and he wanted a practical path to fulfill his desire. And because he approached the right people, he approached his mother, he approached Narada Muni, they guided him in such a way that the material desire was the motivation to go to Krishna, but still he was purified. In the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritirno arjuna arto jitnasurarthati gnanicha bharatarshava. So Dhruva Maharaj is an example of artha arti. He wanted some economic benefit. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained that akama sarva kamo va mokshakama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena jajeta purusham param. Whether someone is akama or sarva kama, even if he has all the desires, the best path is to approach Krishna and execute devotional service tivrena, intense bhakti. And this is the difference between Krishna and demigods. When we approach demigods, they may give the results, but the purification of heart will not be there. But when we approach Krishna, Krishna is fulfilling the desire in such a way that the heart is purified and he becomes progressed on the path of bhakti. So this is also an example of why it is important, even those with material desires, better to approach Krishna. But however, a person who is already a devotee, he will not demand material things from Krishna, because later Dhruva Maharaj is regretting, why did I even do this? And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, a devotee should not ask like this. We don't hanker for material things. But in the beginning stages, even if a devotee has desires, better he approach Krishna than going through some other process. Okay, I hope that, does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji, that explains it. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Have 2 more minutes. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Jai Sri
Prabhu.
Prabhupada.
Jai Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I heard that Krishna became the doorkeeper of the planet that he gave to Dhruva Maharaj, and he's still there as a doorkeeper. Is it true?
Are you confusing with Bali Maharaj?
No, that's what I heard about Dhruva Maharaj. So, like, you know, we have a.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I know this is true for Bali Maharaj. He's there, Krishna is there on the Bali Maharaj planet, Vamana Dev. But about Dhruva Maharaj, I don't know. But one thing is, this is the same region where Krishna is. In the Bhagavatam, it is explained. The Shvetadipa planet where Vishnu is there, in the same region, Dhruva is one realm. So it's that domain, and it doesn't get destroyed when the universe is destroyed. It's okay. Like an embassy in the material world.
So, Prabhu, the way I heard this past time is that when Krishna appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj, then he asked, okay, whatever, ask for the boon. And Dhruva Maharaj that time, although he had material desire initially, then but he said, no, I don't need anything. Then he said, no, you'd have to ask for something. Then he asked for the whatever you explained, and then he said, okay, if you give me the planet, then I'll not get your association. How will I get your association? And then Krishna said, okay, don't worry about that. I promise you that I'll always be there as a doorkeeper, so you'll never miss my association. So I like this story a lot, because that signifies how kind Krishna is, and he doesn't mind serving his devotee. He could have been there as a master, but he's their doorkeeper. But what you are saying is that's not the.
Yeah, I haven't heard about doorkeeper, but it is definitely Vaikuntha realm. As I said, it's in the same domain, so he will have Krishna's darshan, but I haven't heard about this doorkeeper. If you have any references, we can talk about it later.
But how if it's a Vaikuntha, how if Krishna is not there, then how can he get Krishna's association?
I did not say Krishna is not there. Right? I said it's Vaikuntha realm, same domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So there is a Shvetadvipa, maybe similar type of features, Dhruvaloka, but I don't know specifically about the doorkeeper aspect.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, I think it's a little over 1. I'm sorry. So it's time for Aarti. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha pattanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namah Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashata Veshakarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashata Veshakarine Shivo Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kushoba Shivo Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kushoba Jama कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदन उज्ज्वला अहो कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदन उज्ज्वला देशे बनमाला कोए जलमाला बाला देशे बनमाला कोए जलमाला शिवा सुखदारदा प्रेमे गदगदा शिवा
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabrajakachara Jasatara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabrajakachara Jasatara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai, Lord Nrsimha Deva Ki Jai, Shri Shalagram Shilas Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Tunarsimho Bharata Narsimho Ito Narsimho Bharata Narsimho Yato yato yamitato narsimho. Yato yato yamitato narsimho. Bahir narsimho rudahi narsimho. Bahir narsimho rudaye narsimho. Narasimha madhim sharanam prapadim. Narasimha Madhi Sharanam Prapade Javakara Kamalavare Nagam Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakachitu Tanu Bringam Keshavadita Murari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamalavane Nagam Adbhuta Shringa Lalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavamita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha
Jaya Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Bhakta Pralaya, Bhakta Pralaya, Jaya Bhakta Pralaya, Jaya Bhakta Pralaya. Jaya Bhakta Pralaya, Jaya Bhakta Pralaya, Jaya Bhakta Pralaya, Jaya Bhakta Pralaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Narasimha Dev ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Bhakta Prahlad ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for our Sunday program this evening. Rasraj Prabhu, could you please allow me to share my screen? I think I'm having some issues sharing my screen. Is everyone able to view my screen sharing?
Your screen.
It's visible, but little.
So, yeah, I think there is some pixelation coming up. Anyway, we'll continue. We will have we have today as our Sunday program sponsors Rasraj Prabhuji, Sevanandini Mataji and family, who are sponsoring for Prabhuji's brother Kashinath Chaudhary. Hari Bol!
Hari Bol.
And we also have Anonymous, who is sponsoring for all the devotees, Sikh relatives, including Rasraj Prabhuji's brother, Ganpati Govind Prabhuji's family members, Geeta Mala and Sudevi Priya Mataji's mother. And we hope we don't have any other additions to that list. We keep praying. So Hari Bol for Anonymous. Hari Bol!
Hari Bol.
If anyone else is inspired to sponsor for our Sunday program today or for any of our upcoming Sunday programs, you can be one of the sponsors for only $125. And for that, you may contact His Grace Vyarimohan Prabhuji or Her Grace Jiva Mataji at the temple phone number that is displayed on your screen, which is 8602897252. We have one of our biggest celebrations coming up, Ram Navami. Hari Bol! So Ram Navami, as we know, is the appearance day of Lord Ramchandra, and we are going to have a double celebration this time as well. We are going to have a celebration on the actual day of Sri Ramchandra's appearance day, which is on April 21st, that is Wednesday in the evening. And we also have an extended celebration that will be followed on the Sunday right after that. That's on April 25th during our usual Sunday program timings. Hari Bol! And we have some special attractions that you might want to look out for. For the first time in the history of ISKCON of Connecticut, we are going to have Abhishekam on Ram Navami. Hari Bol! We're also going to have Pushpanjali, flowers offering, and we are going to have a special kids drama on April 25th. So look out for that. Hari Bol! So Sunday, April 25th is going to be a hybrid celebration. It's going to be online as well as in person with limited attendance. So we're going to have a few volunteers and core congregation members who are going to facilitate the program live from our ISKCON of Connecticut temple, who will be attending there in person. And all others can join us online through our Facebook or our Zoom links. On April 21st, Wednesday, we're going to have it just online. The participation details for joining us online are displayed on your screen. It's our standard ISKCON of Connecticut Temple Zoom. And if anyone is interested in sponsoring,
you can be one of the sponsors again for $125 only. And for that, you may contact His Grace Pyare Mohan Prabhuji or Her Grace Jiva Mataji at the temple phone number that we displayed in the previous screen. We are going to continue with our regular online programs. So you can find all of the details on our ISKCON of Connecticut website. And we are going to have a special book distribution announcement. So this year we are celebrating Srila Prabhupada's 125th anniversary. Hari Bol! So Prabhupada Vyas Puja is the day after Janmashtami, which I believe this year is on August 31st. August 30th is probably Janmashtami. So we're planning to distribute Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrita books. It's a 7-volume set, and it's available only for $55. I'm sorry. This book is available with ISKCON of Connecticut in the English version only. So this book set, I mean, and we request all devotees to help us in distributing Srila Prabhupada's Lila Amrita book sets. So Hare Krishna. Does anyone have anything to add?
If you sponsor,
Okay.
If you sponsor the Ram Navami feast, you're sponsoring 2 programs.
Okay. Thank you for adding that, Prabhuji. Yes. So you're sponsoring for 2 programs if you're sponsoring for the Ram Navami feast. We're having a dual celebration for Ram Navami. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, and coming back to our Prabhupada Lila Amrita distributions. So we are planning to distribute at least 25 sets of Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrit. So we request all devotees to join us in this endeavor. How you can help as a devotee? You can buy at least 1 set for yourself. You can gift at least 1 set for your friends and family, and you can sponsor at least 1 set for some others whom we can distribute this book set on your behalf. And you can also help us by giving us at least 5 references of people who you think might be interested. And you can, if you think of any other ways by which you can help us, please feel free to do so. So we request all devotees to help us with this endeavor. And besides Srila Prabhupada Lila Amrit, we are also having our Bhadra campaign. So the Bhadra campaign for 2021 has been announced. Hari Bol! Bhadra Purnima this year is going to be on September 20th. And as Srimad Bhagavatam says, if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So this is directly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 12.13.13. Sponsorship for each set containing 18 volumes of books, 12 cantos, is only $250. And ISKCON's Bhadra campaign target is to distribute around 2,500 Srimad Bhagavatam sets worldwide. So we, as part of ISKCON of Connecticut, we are endeavoring to distribute about 75 sets. We were successful in distributing 35 sets last year. So we are having a little bit of ambitious target this year to help as many devotees as possible with Srimad Bhagavatam sets, devotees, friends, and families included. So this year as well, ISKCON of Connecticut is making attempts to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets in libraries. We have more than 200 libraries in and around Connecticut. So again, you can help us by sponsoring a set for yourself, at least 1 set for your friends and family, at least 1 set for anyone else as you might know or want to gift to, and also helping us with references of at least 5 people who you might know who would be interested in sponsoring and distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And if there are any other ways you want to help us, please feel free to do so. Srimad Bhagavatam sets are available in English and multiple other languages with ISKCON of Connecticut. This includes Spanish and other regional Indian languages. So again, it's a great opportunity. If you can help us in this endeavor, and it's a great opportunity. It's a direct ticket to Goloka, it said, if you can sponsor Srimad Bhagavatam set for the purpose of Bhadra Purnima. Hari Bol. And we have a small video that it's about a minute or a couple of minutes long. that talks about Bhadra campaign and the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Rasraj Prabhu, before we move over to our chanting for our sponsors for today, maybe we can just take a quick look at our video. Rasraj Prabhu, if you could display the video.
Did you say something to me?
Prabhuji, it was for Rasraj Prabhu. We have a small video for Bhadra campaign. I was requesting Rasraj Prabhu to display that video on the screen. It will take a minute or two, I guess.
Give me 1 second, I'm adjusting.
Okay, Prabhuji. Haribo. Thank you very much, Rasraj Prabhu. And as we saw, it's a direct ticket to Goloka. So also, incidentally, Bhadra Purnima appears to be the day on which Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. So what could be a greater auspicious occasion than this? Thank you very much, everyone, again. And on that note, we will now have more chanting for our sponsors for today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, ma'am.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Raj Prabhu Sevanandini Mataji and family ki
Jai.
all devotees quick recovery ki
Jai. Jai. Jai.
Kashinath Chaudhary Prabhuji Raj Prabhu's parents ki
Jai.
Ganpati Govind Prabhuji's family members ki
Jai.
Geetamala Mataji Sudevpriya Mataji's mother ki
Jai.
Anonymous ki
Jai.
Thank you very much everybody once again for joining us for our Sunday program this evening. And with that, we are at the concluding stage of our Sunday program. And we hope everyone stays safe, stays well, and we'll continue our prayers during these difficult times. And we hope that you will join us in our upcoming programs. Pyari Prabhuji, Jiva Mataji, are we going to have any? Okay, we are already having. Sorry, my screen was frozen. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiya ki Jai. Shri Saligram Shilas ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON of Connecticut Congregation ki jai. His Grace Pyare Mohan Prabhu ji, Har Grace Jiva Mata ji ki jai. Thank you very much for that wonderful close of darshan, Prabhu ji and Mata ji. Hari Bol. Yes, Prabhuji, we got your darshan as well. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, everybody. And with that, we will be concluding our Sunday program. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.